So today is the 20th of June, 2022. Thanks for tuning in to my official YouTube channel. Make sure to subscribe to my official YouTube channel, like my official YouTube videos. Go to my website, www.susanmealing.com, which is the same as www.ladydoribelle.com. And I figured, I'm going to, in regards of my outfit, for those who know a little bit of 1980s, 1990s lingo, I'm going to kick things off in a Lone Star sort of way. Because, I did wake up in the state of Texas, which is a Lone Star state, and I could make the joke because my company commander in medical hold unit, there is the beer and there is Captain Beer. So, he did get upset with me in regards of, because I was 17 years old when I woke up from my coma after my head injury on Palm Sunday in 2000, though I don't know why he was upset at me for waking up from my coma after my head injury during basic training. In basic training as far as my head injury, though it was because he saw or heard that I had drank a beer, and I didn't understand that. Mainly because I have this thing called a biological little sister, okay? And my biological little sister was born in 1986, okay? Our biological parents purchased a 1986 Dodge Grand Caravan, beige with wood paneling, okay? And so for those who have heard my acronym of the do or die garage experiment, okay? And it's funny because I assisted my biological father to build a 5-car garage with a shed attached, and so there's that as far as that's concerned. And so my biological little sister was born in 1986. That's when they got the 1986 Dodge Grand Caravan beige with wood paneling, okay? So in the year of 1999, I had spent some time with whatever, and on the back of the 1986 Dodge Grand Caravan beige with wood paneling, while my biological little sister was doing whatever dance, and whatever, in that reference, they painted in, the little marker thing, HOE. And so, so I didn't understand because in reference to when Captain Beer was like, well, you had a drink from beer, I instantly may have had an instant thought as to, my biological little sister. Because, do or die garage experiment, okay? It's beige with wood paneling, and anybody who knows about hose, as far as gardening is concerned, they got those multiple prongs. And so, my biological father, which is her biological father, said that the best thing about a man is his dick, which, okay, that's whatever as far as you want to take that in consideration. However, my biological little sister looks more Asian than I do, so she has more of a beige complexion to the whatever Caucasian aspects of. So, you got that beige aspect. And then you have the wood paneling when you take in consideration that hoe part. And so, depending on, because people in Crystal Lake South High School may understand that, and so others who may have thought that I had made fun of anybody, this is a official YouTube video of mine where I am officially giving a reference as to how I actually would make fun of someone. And since everybody who has a sibling well, there's truth behind every joke, and McHenry County High School, as far as, and then, because this is in San Antonio, Texas, Military City, USA, well, would she be a senior in that reference? As to, you could ask Crystal Lake South High School as far as that's concerned, because of those particular factors of the Dodge Grand Caravan, you know, because what is the difference between someone who is grand and what is a reference to a different aspect in comparison to a gardening tool of a hoe and with wood paneling? Because that would translate to a different type of caravan now, wouldn't it? Because those who would know in reference to what I dealt with regarding the backyard, my house, and I mean my house, okay, mine, not hers, okay? And so in San Antonio, the year 2003, I got blamed for my biological little sister having a threesome in our biological parents' house that they hadn't even lived in yet because they were doing the bridge loan situation, okay, between moving from Illinois to San Antonio, Texas, Crystal Lake, Illinois specifically. And I was blamed for this. Now let me give you the details on that, all right? Let me give you the deets, right? Let me go 1980s, 1990s lingo on this, all right? Let me give you the deets. So at that time, despite how the marriage occurred, I was married. I had 2 children. I had my son and my daughter. Okay. She started high school her senior year. Pun intended. And in the first week of school, she's already been doing her dances, stuff, whatever you know, as far as that's concerned, whatever. Sure. And so, in these references, I am informed because she's staying at my house and, you know, I'm the legal guardian at this point in time. Okay, so, and anybody who's met Mike and Anna, you know that when it comes to my biological little sister, they're not going to have just anybody. You know, she had a marriage, so, you know, you could take that in comparison as far as that's concerned, and those hypotheticals of just in that reference. Anyway, I get informed that she has a high school homework situation where it's supposed to be a group working on things. Well, I didn't realize what type of group, all right, okay. And so she says she's gonna be back to my house at 6 or 6:30. I get a phone call on my landline and it's from whatever house she was at. And not everybody had shown up. Well, I was in high school before. I was also in middle school before, and I know how certain types of situations are sometimes, you know, whatever as far as. So she says it'll be 8 or 8:30. I get a phone call around 8 or 8:30, and she tells me, you know, oh, some other people, you know, whatever, and they just ordered pizza. Oh, okay. That's fine. That's fine. Okay. What time? Oh, 10 o'clock at the latest. Well, 10 o'clock comes around. 10:30 comes around. 11 o'clock. Or let me clarify, 2200 comes around. 2230 comes around. 2300 comes around. 2330 comes around. And those who know my biological father and my biological mother when it comes to my biological little sister, I'm the legal guardian. They're in Illinois, and I have to tell them what happened. Those who have been in Crystal Lake, Illinois, you know how they are. Those who have been in the state of New Jersey, you know how it's been. So, I'm a little nervous. A smidgen. So I start calling the house in San Antonio regarding our biological parents' house, and I call her cell phone, and I call the house, and I call the cell phone, I call the house, I call the cell phone, over and over and over. Midnight. 12:30. All right, I'm gonna call Illinois. Call Illinois, and my biological mother says, oh yeah, we got a did she call you in Illinois when she's in Texas? I'm the legal guardian. What's going on here? Oh, this, that, the total rose-colored glasses. Okay. Don't go over the house, though. Why? Why wouldn't I do that? Why? Oh, your sister's tired. Well. Yeah. I guess when they call it sleeping it together, yeah, I guess that would be the term. And so, again, see the difference for anybody who ever thought, especially in regards to finding the silver lining. I bet you got a different perspective now. Bet you do, as far as certain titles, as far as that's concerned. So, I make a few more phone calls just to see, and then this is the way. Okay, this is the way it goes. Okay, so this is me. This is Patricia. Okay. Hello. Yeah, what's going on? I'm just so totally tired. Yeah. What are you doing? Oh, sleeping. So, I get in my car. So first, I go and let my now dead ex-husband, then whatever, and I'm like, I'm going over to the house, and he's just like, and I'm like, I don't give a fuck, and he's just, and I'm just, okay. I go drive. It's not far, okay? So my house is in Pheasant Creek subdivision. I was informed that the house where the project, as far as the school thing was, had been in Apple Creek subdivision. Just for anybody who knows that in regards to San Antonio. My biological mother and biological father's house is over off of Bandera. After Eckert, but I don't know where, okay? So anybody who knows, she was too tired to drive from Apple Creek subdivision to Pheasant Creek subdivision, though she was not too tired to drive from Apple Creek subdivision to our biological mother and biological father's new house. I don't believe she's sleeping unless it's around a different way. So, get in my car. After making sure my son and my daughter are okay, of course, go. Drive by the house. And I'm not talking 1980s, 1990s drive-bys, okay? Just for that clarification. The garage door is open this much. And there's this kind of smoke, but it's not cigarette smoke. I can make the joke, I was born in the year of the dog, so I have a nose for this, pun intended, although I smoke cigarettes, okay? So there's this non-cigarette scent coming out from this, and it's not much, but randomly, and then I hear so I park my car, and I hear this from my car, by the way, which is across the street. So I get out of my car, and and I see two male sneakers and my biological little sister's sneakers. You know, when I joined the Army and said I wanted to do recon regarding China, I wasn't referring to my biological little sister because she looks more Chinese than I do. However, okay. And so, and it's not even really recon when you think about it, though maybe. So, you know, the garage door is open this much, okay? I can make a joke, okay? Born in the year of the dog, Chinese zodiac. All right, fine, fine. Canine unit, okay, fine. That doesn't smell like cigarette smoke. Nope. Doesn't smell like cigarette smoke at all. So I have later smoked MMJ, and it's also recreational in some areas. And you know what's kind of funny? Is that same sort of sound that I heard coming from this area? You know, it kind of just, you know, it's almost similar. And so it's like, my nose tingles. What is this? And then all of a sudden I'm like, ooh, I better, ooh. I better go back to my house. Ooh. and I have this weird, and I'm calm, and my headache pain kind of lowered a little, and it's like, whoa, what's going on? Whoa. Whoa, man. Whoa. Okay. All right. Let me get one more whiff of that. I am so hungry right now. Why am I so hungry? Oh, I'm hungry. How do I stand up? These are actual thoughts, by the way. How do I stand up? Okay. I have to be total ninja. And I don't know how to stand up. And so, at this time, my hair is not this color. I don't have tattoos, and I got a black shirt on, which is an irony, and I got dark blue jeans on. How do I stand up? Oh, I'm so tired. Oh, wow. These are actual thoughts. And then I hear, and now we can go inside and have some fun. Well, that just woke me up hungry. So, okay. Get back to the house, as far as my house, and I'm just, Recall. Hello, yeah. Hi, oh, hi. Yeah, you will be at my house before school starts, and we're gonna have a discussion. Okay, sure. Yeah. So then later, after Mike and Anna, finish the stuff up in Illinois and go back to San Antonio, they pick up my biological little sister and that stupid dog Dakota, as far as that was concerned. Lucky that I didn't have any Chinese food, just saying. I could have cooked Chinese food. I could have made authentic Chinese food that day. I'm just saying. Just throwing that out there. However, it is as it is. Here's an irony. In the one aspect that my now dead ex-husband and I agreed was in reference to that stupid dog regarding that peekapoo, it's a Pekingese poodle mix named Dakota. Now, I have described this dog And I was making fun of it while describing it, which I have told people, yes, I am making fun of this dog because I can. So what it looked at, okay, it was the ugliest dog. Like, a Chinese hairless dog is cuter than this dog, okay? Like this dog was so ugly that a Chinese hairless dog was cuter, just sweeter and all that in comparison to this dog. So a Pekingese poodle, you'd think, oh, well, Pekingese dogs aren't too ugly. And you'd think, poodles aren't too ugly. And then there's my biological mother's dog, Dakota. Okay? So it had these eyeballs that looked like somebody kicked it in the ass, and which its hind legs were taller than its front legs. So it was like one of those race cars, which is an irony when you take in consideration how a Dodge Grand Caravan is not a race car, regarding especially the 1986 version. No, not until later when they got it all spruced up with all that tech stuff. Anyway, so you got this, non-race car dog that looks, if you were to have a child draw it. and its asshole was on its back in comparison to where a normal dog would have one, okay? Then it had the curly Q type of Pekingese tail on top of the area of that. And then my biological mother's like, oh, it looks like a Chinese dog. It's like the Chinese dog. You mean Chinese food? No, it's like the Chinese food dog. You mean food? Chinese food? No, like the Chinese food dog. Chinese food? I can make Chinese food. I'm just saying, Buck Pooh had me as her favorite. Just saying, I know how to cook. There are some rules and regulations around some parks. In different areas in New York, not just city, more so state, and Pennsylvania, and New Jersey. Hypothetically, my Buck Pooh and my Buck Gum, but especially my Buck Pooh being half Cantonese and half Mandarin, free food walking around? Look at this! There were a few, I'm not saying that my Buck Pooh told me that there were a few round eyes whose eyes got rounder. When she, but... And then there's Dakota's eyes, which were huge. They were huge. And I know my Buck Pooh would have... Anybody who has family in certain, if you've had traditional Chinese food when it comes to shrimp, okay, you know that the eyeball, you do all the work yourself. You deal with the little legs and all that stuff and the little eyeballs and stuff. So my Buck Pooh would have been like, dinner. Psh, that's some yum. Mm-hmm. Or that would be more the internal thoughts in comparison. If she had spoke, it would be more like, oh, yes, so that's good. Oh, food. Babu, would you like some vanilla chocolate ice cream afterwards? Oh, food. And so Dakota had these they weren't really the poodle ears. They were kind of more Pekingese-ish to a degree. And then there's Peking duck. And so, I'm just saying, my Buck Pooh would have been like, oh, you'll be so good for dinner. Your phone, it matched the voice. Go out to get some rubber so that way I can tell the difference. As far as that's concerned in comparison. So, however, dead ex-husband, during that time, whatever it was, he was just like, even he had not, and it mainly would, not because Dakota had attacked my son. No. Not because Dakota had attacked my daughter. No. Because the dog barked at him. That was it. Which then there's Dionysus as far as my dog, and so then, then there's that. As far as that's concerned. And so, my biological little sister was all, why won't you defend Dakota? I have my son and my daughter to think about. Let me put this in perspective. Your stupid ass dog or my son and my daughter's lives? I'm going to go with my son and my daughter living in comparison to your stupid dog. And so, anybody who's ever, you know. So, while, it was known as to me being awake from my coma after my head injury for less than a year, less than 6 months realistically before the justice of the peace, and me being pregnant with my son, my biological little sister, she went to college. She got her college degree, So she couldn't do that arithmetic, but, she got a college degree. Think about that. And so, but then again, my biological mother and biological father bought a 1986 Dodge Grand Caravan beige with wood paneling, when Anna was pregnant with Patricia. So, just saying, it's a different type of programming. And so, they pick up them. They go to the house in San Antonio while I stay at my house, and I take care of my son and my daughter, and I go do what I gotta do. And then they show up to my house. And they're like, Susan, we need to have a sit down. Okay. So we go out to my back patio. My now dead ex-husband, he shows up. He was alive at the time, okay? And so he shows up. He sits with my biological father next to him, and it's an octagon-shaped table, mind you. I have my back, ironically, against the back wall with the windows. I'm sitting there, I lean back, it's like, all right, what's going on? What's the situation? My biological mother and my biological little sister are pretty much sitting side by side as far as that's concerned. Sort of look. I see, they say that certain types of breeds start looking, so anybody who, because Dakota's face looked like it had hit a wall, and it was all smushed in and stuff like that, so Anna and Patricia were like that. And so, it was as it was. And so then, as far as that was concerned, they start talking. And so Anna goes over her feelings, how she feels. She felt so sad because how could I be so rude to cause my biological little sister to feel so lonely. She felt so lonely because she saw me give, who was my husband at the time, a hug. A hug. Can you believe it? So my biological little sister was like, yes, it was have a threesome in Mike and Anna's house in their bed. That's although, it is. So Mike and Anna, Anna was, I can't believe you would have the nerve. How could you have the nerve to give who's your husband a hug? Even the two miniature schnauzer dogs looked at Anna and went, "Rrr." Both of them at the same time. They were sitting next to me and they went, "Rrr." And those who know the miniature schnauzer haircut at that point, they had the little eyebrows and little mustache thing. They're just, "Rrr." And so, especially with how long their eyebrows were, you could definitely, and Nick looked over at Princess, and Princess looked at Nick, and they both went, "Rrr," at the same time. And it was, you my dogs right now, you my dogs, all right? And now you my dog, which is an irony because both of them, though, they put their paws up and it's like, all right, yeah, right now, you my dogs, that's right, you my dogs. Sit, they said. Then my biological father, Mike, goes, Susan, I just can't believe that you had the nerve to give your husband a hug in front of your sister. What is wrong with you? Why would you ever do something like that? Because a hug is a hug, and it's like a hello or goodbye or whatever. This hugs do. It's like aloha, It's like that. If it makes you feel any better, I didn't fuck him in front of her. Does that make you feel better? Which then, my biological father, who do you think you are cracking a joke like that? You know that your little sister just had a threesome in our house. Hold on. Do what I can to be all serious, so, because... You know that your little sister just had a threesome in our house, in our bed. What makes you think that's funny? You think you're a fucking comedian? Do you think you're a fucking comedian going and saying So here's a comedy official YouTube video of mine, okay? Hopefully a whole bunch of thumbs up as far as likes and stuff like that. Make sure to subscribe to my official YouTube channel. Share the link to my official YouTube videos. Go to my website, www.susanbling.com, which is the same as www.ladydorybell.com. Look around my website. I've worked on a few things. There's my journal blog, The Ornery PSA. So... So you think you're a comedian, do you? You think you're a motherfucking comedian? You think you think this is funny, do you? You think this is fucking funny? What makes you think this is fucking funny? Your fucking little sister just fucking fucked two males in our bed, in our house, that we didn't live in yet. And you think this is a fucking joke. You think this is fucking funny. You think this is funny. You know it's your fault because you gave your husband a hug in front of her. You're a fucking slut for doing that. So then I reach for my cigarettes at that point. Okay. I could handle a few things. This is a little much. Okay. So let me understand this correctly. And so, all of them, you go right the fuck ahead. You do that. Okay. So I look at my biological mother. So you're mad at me because of not having a threesome with two males in your bed in the house that you didn't get to live in yet. And because I gave a hug to who, legal, whatever, you're upset. The biological father of my two children, you're mad because I gave a hug to the biological father of my son and my daughter in front of my biological little sister. You're mad because I didn't do that. My biological mother, yeah. Yes, I am. What's wrong with you? Why can't you see how that is a problem? Maybe there are people who are parents other than myself who could probably see where that problem would be, such as my biological little sister having a threesome in the house that my biological mother and biological father had not been capable to even live in yet, and in their bed. Okay? Maybe I'm weird like that. So then, I look over at my biological little sister, who's all, and anybody, hold on, I gotta add the, okay, I'll get to you in a minute. I look over at whatever, as far as whatever is the father of my son and my daughter, their biological father. Are you really taking this seriously? Him? Well, you know, well, they seem angry, so... Nick and Princess. They're just wagging their little nubs. Do you see what is wrong with this? Both of them pop their paws up on the chair. They're just good. Apparently there's some intelligence in the world. Okay. It's sad that they're in animals, but okay. Then my biological father. Do you see anything about this situation you might want to rethink? My biological father. What would there be to rethink about it? Do you remember when you told me that you didn't send Patricia to the state of Texas to be the best little whore in Texas? Yeah. What does that have to do with anything? Well, I guess maybe, and this wasn't said, but I guess maybe that's why the HOE in reference to that 1986 Dodge Grand Caravan with that beige wood paneling, because there is a difference between hoe and whore, right? And so, there are 3 letters in there though. So the W and the R, well, maybe that's why. Maybe. So by technicalities, my biological father would be accurate because, there wasn't the W there and there wasn't the R. So, so that Lone Star situation, what? And so... I suppose. I don't know if I could make a joke in a better way on that one. However, you know, that's how that was. And then there's my childhood and my teenage years and my biological adult years and any involvement in anything that I didn't invite to. So there's that. So I guess, you know, hey, I was called a bitch, a whore, a slut, and a cunt since, you know, I was an infant. In reference to those two individuals, my biological mother and my biological father. So, you know, ha 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 ha, you know. And so, you know, since that's been that sort of whatever, but you know what? Which one is it better to be the best of? That's a question you can think about because, you know, well, lasts longer compared to what? And so, you know, I mean, I'm just saying in that comparison, in those particular references, sadly, unfortunately, you know, because there's that. And so, you know, that's why when it comes to certain things, I just refuse. Yeah, I'll just absolutely refuse when it comes to that because regarding how my biological mother and my biological father have been, in regards of, and you know, how dare I actually be happy, you know, in comparison to anything else. That'd be great if I could actually have that and actually be happy in comparison, you know, in reference to my own choices, not theirs. Because of, and so there's those particular situations. Because then fast forward to the year 2008, 2009, and my biological father tells my biological little sister, you know what, and I'm going to do this with a southern accent despite the fact that my biological father is first generation Chinese. Now you don't go over your doggone sister house. I don't see what's in your doggone sister drawers. Yeah, you go get some purdy for that wedding night. You go do that. I done looked through her drawers. I done seen what she done got. She still got them tags. So, you know, the sister, she got some stuff in her drawers. So, you know, you go do that and your older sister could help hook you up when it comes to your wedding night. She could help you. Fast forward to that point in time, shows up. Do you see anything wrong with the fact that you were sent from San Antonio, Texas to my house for me to go show you some lingerie? At all, my biological little sister? Why would you say that would be weird? Why? Like, why? I don't know. I don't know why, like, I have to explain this being weird. Why would it be weird, Susan? That's what she did. And anybody who's... Is it really that weird? I mean, just think. What's so weird about it? All you're gonna do is help me, you know, I mean, it's just my wedding night. I feel really weird. I have this weird sensation. I don't know how. You know, I'm kind of getting a little queasy in my stomach right about now. Yeah, I kind of, my tummy hurts. Why? What's wrong with your face? What, does it look okay? sure, I'll take you to my bedroom. This is weird. No, it's not weird at all. No. Except it is. Except it is. It's extremely weird. No, like, I'm just gonna, what is wrong with you? Nothing. I can make a joke some more. So I was looking through this photo album of pictures of me, and I know that after I had something occur between one school year to the next, my eyes went from a slanted almond shape of Asian whatever to round. Well, it was after I started having my nightmare. I do know that. So maybe. I mean, I also had, a few other situations that occurred, however, it is as it is, as far as that's a consideration of. So, okay, sure. And so I showed her one piece of lingerie, okay? It's this light pink negligee that would get to about here with French cut panties, satin panties with little chains on the side as far as the little French brief, little chains along here, but then it's fitted and has like the little argyle sewn pattern as far as the center area, and then just smooth fabric the rest. Susan, that's just so harsh and so hoey. Coming from the mouth, pun intended, of my biological little sister. So you had a threesome in Mike and Anna's bed, and you consider something that like it's longer than the fingertips. You consider that hoey and hoary. Wow. Is it opposite day for you today? Because that's like the least, pun intended, in comparison. And I'm not into that opposite day garbage. No. I say what I mean, and I mean what I say. So there is that. So apparently somebody decided to put HOE on that 1986 Dodge Grand Caravan. So there's that beige with wood paneling, pun intended, because because you can use hose regarding, mulch and wood chips and stuff like that in comparison to like a lot of stuff. And so it is as it is. Some people, are as they are. That's fine. That's fine. So just in case anybody ever thought at any point in time, whether in reference to my journal blog, The Ornery PSA, on my website, www.susanmeeling.com, which is the same as www.ladydorybell.com, and or in my book, which is in the book section, Finding the Silver Lining, and or you can get it on Amazon, and or whenever I was in person, face to face in person, okay, and or on any social media account I had between the time frame most specifically, because I really didn't get into social media really until around 2009-ish. Kind of here and there, but I had more important things to do at the time. Like raise my son and my daughter who are minor aged. I had to do that. Being a mom, that's how that goes. You don't spend that much time doing certain other things unless you can schedule it, okay? So if anybody at all, whether in regards of memes, whether in regards of my journal blog, The Ornery PSA, though that didn't come around until, pun intended, I guess, until 2015 in the official capacity. However, because, it's none of your business when it comes to how I do my work. However, if you thought that I was ever making fun of you in comparison to describing certain situations, such as finding the silver lining, or describing various perceptions, not saying, because if in the aspects of, if I do not use that particular reference of I, such as I think, I believe, I view, I have the opinion, if I don't use that in prior social media, like, I'm sure there are references that you can look into that consideration as to the difference. So I am going to run these errands, or I ran errands today, for one example, or I have this thought process, or my emotional or my biases, or where it's that whatever the English verbiage description would be regarding that. If that's not there in regards to my earlier social media stuff, especially 2009 through like 2000 now of 2022. So where those aspects are, where I literally type I, as in the letter I, not eyes, okay? If that's not there, or my opinion, or my viewpoint, or something along that, where it specifically refers to me, myself, hypothetically, I'm going to throw this out there. Hypothetically, what would the need to be to that social media viewpoint? Because I'm fairly certain that if I'm talking about myself, or in regards of typing about myself, or my opinion, or my viewpoint, or my experience, probably a few references for those clarifications. So otherwise, I believe the psychological definition of that regarding social media as to those times, before my son and I wound up in Washington State after that Stoney LaRue concert at the Cowboys Dance Hall situation in the year of 2013 in the month of March, between 2009 and to 2012. If I didn't do that and you interpreted it that way, that's how you interpreted it, especially in regards of descriptionary aspects. Okay. So if in that hypothetical, whether you are a biological male or a biological female, if you had internal feelings, your feelings were hurt, or you got sad, so sad. That's not my fault, you're a little bitch, okay? It's not my fault you threw a little titty baby temper tantrum, okay? That's on you. My opinion for that clarification, okay? And so, those particular hypotheticals in those particular references. So in the year 2019, and 2020, and 2021, and this is the year 2022, I have, through my journal blog, The Ornery PSA, on my website, www.susanmealing.com, which is the same as www.ladydoorbell.com, I have updated quite a few things for a few reasons, okay? And so, in the hypothetical that some people jumped to a conclusion, or they assumed a few things in comparison to ever thinking, as to those particular factors, to hypothetical situations, well, there is a difference, okay? So this official YouTube video of mine, that is an example where I am specifically making fun of. And yet it is still the truth because it is comedy as far as this official YouTube video of mine. Make sure to subscribe to my official YouTube channel and like my official YouTube videos and share the link to my official YouTube video channel links, which is what that translates to the whole time, okay? And take that in consideration. Yeah. I don't know who might need that as a reference point. Though, if I had told you about my biological little sister in person, face to face in person, and I told you about those particular factors as to, I don't know how I got blamed for that. That happened in 2003. This is 2022. I still don't know how I got blamed for her having a threesome in our biological parents' bed, in their bedroom, in their house that they had not even lived in yet. I personally would just have sold that house and taken the money and gone to pick out something better. But that's my personal opinion. That's how I would do things, because I would endeavor. It's a personal opinion, because that's disgusting to me. My opinion. Yeah. You know, in comparison to how my biological mother viewed certain things regarding the babysitter from Old Tenet Presbyterian Church. Yeah. Ironically named David. Yeah. And then there's my ex-in-laws. And then there's that set of that which I believe that southern sort of accent might hypothetically assist with that. Because then there's the knowledge as to how my dead ex-husband actually defended incest because of his love affair with my ex-sister-in-law, Mary. And again, her eldest daughter is named Sandra, after the aunt who had demonic possession and schizophrenia mixed in one. And the middle name, Marie, to Sandra has to do with a different spelling of Mary. Okay. And then there's Ariel Nicole. Okay, so Sandra Marie, named Ariel after the Little Mermaid movie, though she looks like the Ursula version of the Little Mermaid when in the movie Disney thing. And then Nicole, well, again, so her dead uncle, my dead ex-husband, his nickname was Nick. And her dead uncle and her mom, this is a different version of a 1980s, 1990s your mom joke, though it might not really be a joke. So I've already, in some prior official YouTube videos of mine, made a few commentaries satirically. I say that satirically on purpose for this particular official YouTube video of mine. Make sure to subscribe to my official YouTube channel and share the link to my official YouTube videos for my official YouTube channel. And go to my website, www.susanmuling.com, which is the same as www.ladydorybell.com. And so, so Nick being the nickname regarding the last name, as far as both Mary and her dead brother, just there's that. And apparently, according to my dead ex-husband, him and Mary had fucked a whole lot of times, so there's Nicole. And, and so there's 8 nieces and nephews regarding him because they're his nieces and nephews. I didn't meet them until the year 2000 or 2001. I don't know how many years old they are as far as that's concerned. I do know that they're older than my minor-aged son, just as I know that they're older than my minor-aged daughter at the times that I had seen them in person, face-to-face in person regarding that. Majority of them were either in upper elementary school, middle school, or high school. For those clarifications to take into consideration. And so that seems as though a more serious factor to think about regarding the modern day book. Regarding my book section, you can go to the link to purchase through Amazon regarding my website, www.susanmeling.com, which is the same as www.ladydoribelle.com, to take those factors into consideration because they're not my relatives at all. And so that's a big deal. They also knew in reference to the justice of the peace, which they were informed of just as their parents were. And they also knew as to how I had a head injury on Palm Sunday in 2000 and was in a coma for a while. And they knew that at that time of knowing them, all the way up until halfway through-ish regarding 2008, so the subarachnoid hemorrhage in the frontal lobe of my brain had been that length of time. And so I'm the one and only sponsor in comparison to what they may have thought, because none of them actually were dependents of the Army or the Air Force or the Coast Guard or the Marine Corps or the Navy when I met them. So then there's those particular legalities to take into consideration as far as that's concerned in that hypothetical regarding social media situations, which they would need to take into consideration seriously as far as that's concerned. And so I have already clarified that I have not consented to any aspects of, and I wouldn't. And so with the knowledge as to I was born and raised in New Jersey, and what I dealt with regarding those types of those people. So I dealt with in Crystal Lake South High School. I know how people are from New Jersey. Where in New Jersey do you know how people are that way? I have no idea. I don't remember anybody in New Jersey ever being like, I'm from New Jersey. I remember people doing this in New Jersey. I do remember that. I remember, not just gym class, I remember that. But I don't remember people running around being like, I know people from New Jersey. I don't know where they got that. I don't know what pop culture reference that is at all, whatsoever. And then, because that's an Eminem song right there, because, these motherfuckers doing jumping jacks. So there's the Coast Guard, I'm sure they did a few jumping jacks in New Jersey. They probably weren't doing, I know how people are from New Jersey at that capacity. I don't know. I'm not the smartest crayon in the toolbox. Okay? So, but I'm fairly certain I don't really remember that many people walking around going, "You from New Jersey? I'm from New Jersey. We in New Jersey." I don't remember that. Is that some memory deficit of mine from my head injury on Palm Sunday in 2000 that I can't remember? I don't know. And even in gym class, I don't remember us going like, "We in New Jersey. Yeah, we in New Jersey." I don't remember that. I don't. You know? I don't remember in elementary school being like, "We up in New Jersey." You know, I don't remember that. I do remember a few situations where we took our sippy cups or juice boxes or whatever. It was as it was. Okay? We had our ways. The only time I mean, even in reference to St. John Vianney High School regarding the bus, so Tony Ann wasn't like, "We up in New Jersey." And I wasn't all, "We up in New Jersey." So, you know, I don't know if it's an aggressive thing in regards of. I could be inaccurate. I'm fairly certain, though. I don't remember Tony Ann being like, so. And maybe she doesn't remember me being like this. Fairly certain it was more along the lines of, "And you did, and you did, and okay, well, you know what?" I remember that more so than "Up in New Jersey." You know? You know, as many Italians, especially when it comes to Italian food, because you know how pasta can be, okay? And you know how bread can be. You know, if we did walk around like this, okay, so I'm not a full Italian. I'm not a full Italian. Okay, there's a lot of pizza up in New Jersey too, because it's a specialty. Some calzones, get the right type of. The thing about calzones, it's stromboli. It's a thing. Knew some people. However, I don't know, maybe that if they were going like this, maybe it wouldn't be, I don't know. I know in the clubs, usually, yeah, okay, you know, I mean, you know, depending on the club, yeah, but that's dancing and we're having fun. You know, usually, you know, it's like, in comparison to us being like, "We up in New Jersey, we up in New Jersey," like that. I mean, well, I guess maybe there could be a remix of that as far as, "We up, we up, we up in New Jersey." In comparison. I'm not saying I've been to any locations. I neither confirm nor deny that I have ever attended any underground sort of locations that would have that sort of musical instrumental background. Okay. I'm not confirming nor denying that at all. What I will say is that's how we usually dance, depending. I mean, it depends, because it also depends on if you actually have a dance partner. Because that is very different if you have someone to dance with in comparison at a club. So if you have someone to dance with at a club, that's very different. That is completely different in comparison to just a group of people. So that's just the facts. And I didn't really grow up I neither confirm nor deny growing up going to clubs. or underground events or raves or any of that. I do not. I do not. I do not. I can. What I can say is I like music. Though again, because I just had been as I had been, I didn't really, I mean, even still, you know, it was one of those, there was a point in time at St. John Vianney High School, somebody had asked me a question and I had went to explain something. It was completely misconstrued by everybody else at the dance, and it's like, no, you don't understand. Do you know who his dad is? And like, and if they knew who his dad was and what his dad's employment was, there would be that understanding as to why the explanation, because of the lack of wording, as far as that was concerned. But anyway, you know, that's why you don't leave things up to your interpretations. Yeah, those assumptions will get you every time. And so, especially with New Jerseyans, I'm sure, especially in the area like St. John Vianney High School, I'm sure they understand now in that difference, in that capacity of, or a few factors. But yeah, no, just saying. I know it's a few decades, well, a little over 2 decades, okay? Nonetheless, yeah, so, and then, you know, there's only there is that, so, but I dealt with that a lot regarding, you know, Crystal Lake, Illinois, and in that area. I mean, even at the dance clubs out there at, it's literally called Palestine, Illinois, regarding, it was the Triple X Club, but it was a dance club. It wasn't apparently what that translates to in biological adult aspects at all. And so it was a teeny bopper club. You weren't allowed to be older than, I think you couldn't be older than 20 years old to actually get into that club at that time. And so, though I do remember some of the bouncers having fun with some, no, you're not, no. And so, in comparison to what I learned later, so then again, they might not have known at that point in time in Palestine, Illinois, as to those particular factors. I'm not certain. So then there's that. But yeah, so my biological little sister, regarding certain situations, I guess some might be capable to tell the difference as far as that's concerned. So, you know, my first car that I purchased, you know, specifically just for me, it's my little Bumblebee car. My little VW Beetle. Yeah, zippy. Yeah, little turbo engine. Although my preference is a 1969 Camaro RS SS 396 with a 396 cubic inch engine, drop from a V6, bump it up to a V8, put that chrome all up in the engine. Except for the fan belts and the different types of belts, because obviously dual exhaust, black leather interior, midnight blue exterior with glitter in the paint, 2 white stripes up the front and down the back. Hard top, T-top, I don't care they didn't come in T-tops, that's fine. And convertible. One of each. 5-speed, 5 to the flow. Although I do some modifications to it, you know, I'd put, I'd have a little bit of fun with that because I know a little bit about cars. So then there's my biological little sister that 1986 Dodge or do or die garage experiment, pun intended. Grand caravan and beige with wood paneling in comparison. So I figured, you know, make my outfit for this, you know, a little bit, you know. So that's kind of why when Captain Beer was like, do you know why you're going to get an Article 15? Why? Because you drank beer. You know, I have this, and I didn't have the words to explain, and so, because of the massively huge difference between, yeah, especially in that aspect of, you know, choice. Those references, you know, I just saying, you know, there's been a few situations I've explained a bit. And so, you know, there's, I don't know what the aspects of are regarding a few what have yous in that particular reference, though that is as it is, people at Crystal Lake South High School, where she went, you know, being a freshman to a sophomore. So, you know, there were some freshmen. And, you know, she's a little soft, but, you know, went for a little more before she became a junior, you know. If you want to say that, depending on, I guess, males know about themselves as far as that's concerned. But by the time she got to stay in Texas, well, she definitely was a senior now, wasn't she? So, you know, is as it is in comparison. And so, you know, I dealt with a few situations, such as having to defend myself as often as I've had to. Those regards, especially, you know, I mean, just those factors of, I was just being retaught the names of colors and how to count at those times. So, you know, it is as it is. So, you know, just keep that in mind. And then what is considered consensual? You know, those particular important definitions as far as, and so, Yeah. So thanks for tuning in to my official YouTube channel. Make sure to subscribe to my official YouTube channel. Like my official YouTube channel videos. If you're going to leave a comment, make sure to have etiquette and respect. To me, at the very minimum. And go to my website, www.susanmeeling.com, which is the same as www.ladydoribell.com. You know, make sure to reference regarding social media stuff to clarify, so that way you know. You better make sure, you know. So, you guys have a good day. It's the 20th of June, 2022. 20th of June, 2022. Isn't it funny about that time frame? It's almost like, you know, with that time, that almost 30 portion. You know, as far as phone calls, get it? Ooh.